Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? There's a little bit of a programming change. Those of you who didn't see it, Jesus has had an emergency, so he's not coming on tonight. So I changed it up from Giants to we're going to do part 2 of Stone Giants. If you guys have watched my videos in part or my first video I ever did, episode 1 was on Stone Giants. And so I'm going to kind of touch bases on that some. I do have a 52-second video I'd like to share with Roger from Mud Fossil University. I highly recommend you guys go to YouTube and look up Mud Fossil University. He is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. I've been kind of conversing with him a little bit, seeing if I couldn't get him maybe to come on this show sometime. It'd be great if he ever does. But so that's what we're going to do tonight. Now, if you guys recall from episode 1, one of the photos I showed was this here. I couldn't remember if it was a sleeping soldier or sleeping gentleman. It was like in England, Wales, or Maui. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is going to be the video that Roger had on TikTok, and I'll go ahead and play it now. And it kind of breaks down more of this photo for you, so you get kind of an understanding about these things. Like I said, this man is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. So I'll let you guys watch this for a second.
Living creature.
Or for a few seconds.
They've put in some metal and rebar and stuff to try to bring it back because it's falling apart. And they are all falling apart. This is the tendon of the leg. That is the actual blood running out of his leg. You see this tendon? Look carefully at this tendon. All right? You see his arm up here? Look carefully. You have to understand anatomy and understand where the muscles are and the bone is and so forth that constructs the body. Now let's see if we can find something like that in a human being. No, you don't get any closer than that. Then that's what the tendon is. This is what it is. And then the blood, of course, is in the muscles. Now this is from one of Brian Forrester's videos.
So that's kind of about what we're going to be talking about. For those of you who may not recall or may have missed the first show I ever did, these stone giants was when you go through ancient civilizations, ancient stories, ancient history, they talk about how God or the gods were displeased with the way these giants were acting, caused a flood which killed them, and in return you find these petrified remains, which is what these stone giants are. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures here. This one here, this was in episode 1. I couldn't get these to load up. I was able to get these to load up. I figured out how to do it. If you recall, I was talking about stones that look like petrified blood. This is one of them right here. You can actually see the swirling and everything in there. This is probably one of the ones I found, but you can see where they find stones like this, and it kind of looks like blood. But when you go through and you travel things, I mean, you can find certain things all throughout the world. So when you hear people talking about mountains that look like humans, they're talking about stuff like this right here. You can see the feet, the legs, the knees, the buttocks, the back, the breast, the hair, the arms, the head. You can see this stuff. And so if you listen to these ancient stories, and hey Scott, how you doing, buddy? They talk about this stuff happening here, and this is stuff you can find all over the world. I mean, you can go and you can find stuff like this here. Nature's not going to carve that, folks. I mean, you can see the chin, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, eyebrows, hairline, forehead. You can see all this stuff. And this stuff is like all over the world. Um, I mean, look here. I mean, here's another one. And if you guys recall, in my first episode, I was talking about how the floods came in. Gods were displeased with them. The flood came in, flooded them all out and killed them. Every ancient civilization in history has a story about a great flood, and they were all. It was either A, they killed the giants because they were displeased with them, or B, they killed the titans and they're displeased with them. So this is very well what we could be looking at. I cannot dispute that. I mean, you can see the mouth, nose, the eyes, the head, the ears, the neck, the shoulder, the arm, the leg, the buttocks, and this one here. This is stuff that you find all over, everybody. So, I mean, it's not uncommon. And I want to show a couple more here real quick, and we'll get back to some of the other ones. I want you to tell me what you see when you look at this photo right here. And I'll give you a few minutes to make your comments in the comment section. What is that right there that you're looking at? Tell me what you think you see. So this is one of the ones that is considered petrified flesh. And here's actual flesh right there. And you can see a heck of a resemblance. Like here's another petrified one. Look at, you can see the marbling, you can see the tissue, you can see all that stuff. Hey, William, my brother, how you doing? I'm glad you can make it. I hope you're healing up very well, brother. But as you can see, like this one here and this one here, these are petrified flesh. And it looks just like actual flesh. Um, so I mean, this is stuff that is found all over the world. Um, if you remember right, in my first video, if you guys have watched it, or if you haven't watched it, go back. You can go back and watch it. I was showing stuff like this here. Now this is found in the United States in the desert. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. Nature's not going to carve that. This was a elephant that was found in India. You know, this is the stuff I always talk about. You can find all over the world. I mean, you go up in the mountains and you go up in the hills. Two of them. What do you mean by that, Scott, buddy? Uh, but you can go in the mountains and hills all over the world. I mean, because you got to think, folks, every civilization has a story about either giants, ogres, trolls, titans, something along that line. And they all talk about. I mean, look at Thor. Thor was known as the giant killer. He killed giants. He killed trolls. He killed ogres. Is this like I asked in my first episode, is this what we're seeing here? Is the remains of giants that was killed? I mean, it's quite possibly when you're walking along the beach and you see something like this right here. It's like I've said in several of my videos. I'm a firm believer that there's more than one type of giant. I don't believe they were all the same. I believe they're just like humans. There's different species of giants. But this is stuff you find, and this here was the one I showed in the first episode, and this was Elephant's Rock in Ireland. You can go to Ireland and see this right here. And yes, I mean, I was a firm believer. I used to say we used to have an ecosystem that would support stuff like that. A lot of your studies would show that, but at the same time, I agree with Jesus Payon. If we agree to that, then we agree to Darwinism. And Darwin was intelligent, but Darwin didn't get everything correct. So I mean, I can kind of understand where he's coming from on that. I mean, that's just my opinion, my theory, but I mean, it's very good, folks. So let me get down here. When you're walking, going through a prairie, and you see something like this here. This is stuff you find out in the open when you go out and do boots on ground. It's like I say all the time, people. You need to get out there and get boots on ground. Do your own research. Take what I say. Take what William says, what DA says, what Roger says, or anybody else that you follow. Take what they say and build on that. Do your own research. Come up with your own theory, your own opinion. I highly recommend that. And when I get some money, I mean, this is some of the places that I want to go myself. Because I mean, you're and you know they when you listen to the ancient text, they tell you that when the flood happened, it killed them as they were. So I mean, you come across and you find something like this right here. The flood was devastating, folks. I mean, there was all manners of life that happened when this flood came about. When you're walking around, you can't really deny, if you got an open mind, you can't deny what you see. And that's one of the problems we have to face in this world here is we got to have an open mind on things. Now, in what I'm teaching or I'm talking about, is that fact 100%? To some, yes. To some, no. It is my opinion and my theory. This is what these are. Um, and that's why I tell you guys, because Roger on Mud Fossils can describe this stuff way better than I can. He's got the mindset for it better than I do. But I mean, you go all over the world and you're seeing faces coming out of hills. I can't remember. Was this Wyoming? I can't remember off the top of my head on this one here. Um, but this is if you go out and you explore life, you're going to see. I mean, look, you can see her getting. Looks like she was either sleeping or getting a drink. At this time, she could have very well been sleeping when the flood hit. And that's a very big possibility. Whenever this happened to her, uh, one thing here, some of you may not want to see this. Just a heads up. It's a petrified park. We'll leave it at that. But this is an actual place. It's called Utani Woon or Tari Woon. I forgot how to pronounce it off the top of my head. And this is an actual place you can go. You're seeing woman parks here. Um, Actually, let me take my banner down. It might have the name on this now that I think about it. Utroba Cave in the Europe Mountains, Bulgaria. So, and scientists will tell you all the time this stuff is hand carved. Folks, you can see the seam that goes up the center of every human being. When you look at the body of a human, you can see that in here. And what's also disturbing about this is if you go in close, you can actually see a child that was miscarriage there. You can see the face. There's the mouth, there's the nose, the eyes. You can see the sac that was protruding from him when it passed away. Um, so, I mean, it's all over, folks. I can't deny what I see, and you got Nunu Island. No, God, I haven't spoken Hawaiian in so long. I am sorry. The Sleeping Goddess. Um, you guys may be more familiar with it if you've never been to Hawaii. In the Disney movie Moana, you can see her arm, you can see her head, you can see her breast. This stuff is real. These are real places that you can go and see. I don't know what your guys' opinion on this stuff is, um, but this is kind of what we're talking about today. So it was like I said earlier. The in some text it's God, in some text it's the gods, depending on where you're at in this world. Like take for instance Zeus. When Zeus killed the Titans, they fell to the earth and they were petrified. Um, is this what we're looking at? I mean, I beg that question to you. Is this what we're looking at here? When you're finding petrified flesh that looks just like flesh, and when you wet it down, it looks even more like real flesh, like to the point that you could put it next to it when it's wet, put it next to a slab of meat, and you can't tell the difference. That stuff does not happen in nature. When you're finding, and that's also too. If you go to a lot of these areas where these fallen giants have been, um, you'll find a lot of precious metals. We all have precious metals in us. And what is going on in my chat thing? That thing is doing some weird stuff. So you'll find gold, you'll find silver, you'll find lead or iron. We all have that in us. Now, when you come across these big veins of this stuff, you got to think. I mean, think about the giants that were called cloud eaters, that were 2 to 3 miles, if not taller. You know, think about the concentration of metals, precious metals in them compared to us. So when you dig into a mountainside, you're going to see large veins of these precious metals versus if we're petrified, you won't find it. So I can understand it. And if they're laying down on their side, when they decay, when they petrify, and decay and petrify, you're going to find large traces of that stuff at the bottom. When you decay and your body breaks down, it all sinks down. Gravity pulls it down. So it stands to reason why you'll find them at the bases of stuff like that there. So, I mean, and we all got these precious metals in it. If anybody knows anything about biology, we have these precious metals inside of us now. You know, perfect example. I'm going to nerd out here for a minute and go comic book movie style. When Magneto escaped from the prison, um, he had mercury injected into him. And when he came to bring Magneto his food, Magneto extracted all that metals and created platforms as he walked and escaped. We have metals all in us. Now we have a small amount, and like in that case there's not enough in the human body for Magneto to do what he did, so he had to be injected with these metal particles to be able to do what he did. So that's kind of the same concept as what we're talking about here. Um, Here we go. So whenever they're dead and they're laying down like this, and you're looking at something like this here, all your precious metal, all your bodily fluids, your black blood, your red blood, all that stuff's going to sink down. And there's an old saying in the Marine Corps, and a lot of us Marines know it. A lot of infantrymen around the world will probably tell you the same story. We have a cadence that goes, "What makes the grass grow?" And then they reply, "Blood, blood, blood." Folks, where you can find the decayed remains of giants, dragons, ogres, trolls, titans, whatever it is, you're going to find a large quantity of vegetation. That is one thing to look at when it comes to this stuff. When you're trying to find it, is you want to look for stuff that has that. Uh, Let me get back to this one photo here. You can kind of see how the red sunk down in this meat. It kind of shows you what happens. I would say the bottom down here was actually where he was laying on the ground before this hunk of flesh was taken out of the ground after it petrified. Versus a fresh one that hasn't been laying for a while is going to look like this right here. So it's possible. It's very possible that's what happened. Tracy, how you doing? It's good to see you. Uh, so I mean, I beg that question. What's your guys' theory? What's your guys' opinions on? Do you believe at one point in time these giants existed and the god or gods, whatever religion you came from had come down and done this, had killed them, and when the floods had receded, the body started to decompose, which kicked in the petrification, and now you have stone giants, mud fossils. I got to get used to that term. I agree with Roger on that, mud fossils. And oh man, that guy is just, God, he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. I emailed him earlier because I didn't think about it and asked him if I can use some videos. Because if I can use more of his videos on some of the stuff, I'd like to. That guy is very, 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 very knowledgeable. But yeah, I mean, these are literally mud fossils, of these titans, of these giants. Um, Let me see that one. I mean, this is just bizarre stuff that you find right here. And this is an actual mountain. Now, looking down at ground level, you're not going to see a lot of this stuff. And a lot of this stuff, if you want to see it, you're going to have to be like this and be up in the air. Some of the stuff you can see from ground, yes. Yeah, and that's one of them, Scott. I agree. Let me knock this down before I put your hoo ha up there. And that is one of the stories. That's like I said, God or gods. In the Bible it talks about how God was displeased with the giants, the Nephilim, and so therefore he caused a flood to reset the earth. If you actually study history, you study religions, you study whatever, however you want to put it, the earth has been reset 4 times. It's been reset by fire, water, ice, earth. I mean, the earth moved itself, land. I mean, I can't remember all of them. I have to look it up again. It's been a few years since I looked into it, but it's been like 3 or 4 resets the earth has been through. Look at the devastation that was caused during the Ice Age. Look at the devastation that was caused by a comet. Look at the devastation that was caused by the flood. Look how many things no longer exist in this world after a disaster like that hit. The earth has been reset a few times already. And these stone giants is remains of one of those. And you can go through the world and find ancient stuff all the time. You really can. They like to tell us that ancient civilizations were dumb. They were primitive. They can do shit that they claim was done by a chisel and a hammer. There ain't no way possible. Our modern technology can't even do what that stuff does. Cut it to perfection, to the time frame, or anything. I mean, look at the massive equipment that we had to use nowadays just to move one boulder that it takes to, or one block that it takes to build the Great Pyramids of Giza. Um, there's a bunch of ancient history. Oh, I thought I loaded that. I didn't. Let me load one up. This is something that Williams sent me a little bit ago. I love this photo because it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Let me see where I put it at real quick. Yep, there it is. Give me a second. Let me get this load up. And this is in here in the United States. And if you look at the top, you're going to see the pyramid. And if you actually take and overlay the Sphinx, you got a pyramid and the Sphinx. There's pyramids all over the world. It's not just Egypt, folks. It's not just South America. There's here in Missouri. There's some in Illinois. They're all over the U.S. They're all over the world. So stuff from history is erased all the time. Now, there's people out there that's going to tell you that there's no way that these giant creatures ever existed because our planet had never sustained that kind of ecosystem. I was always a firm believer for a long time that yes, the planet did have that style ecosystem. At the same time, I'm starting to wane the other way, which is possible because history is hidden from us. So it takes people like me, it takes like people like William and everybody. Yeah, Antarctica too, Scott. You're absolutely right. Actually, the largest pyramids in the world are in Antarctica, and they're not just like the pyramids in Egypt. They're like the pyramids in South America. They're like the pyramids here. They have all different forms of pyramids in the Antarctic, and they're the largest ones in the world. The Great Pyramids of Giza look like a pimple compared to the ones in Antarctica. They're just they're just no there's no comparison to them at all. Um, so that's why I pose this to you guys for this question for you guys to do your research, for you guys to think, come up with your own theory, your own hypothesis, your own opinion. If we stuck on what they teach us nowadays that this cannot happen because Darwinism said it could not happen, or this paid scientist that was paid to give this theory and say this theory is fact because that's what they want you to believe. If you take all that away and you actually use your own mind and you do your own thinking and you do your own research and you open your mind to possibilities, you're going to see that this is not far from the realm. Especially, like I said a little bit ago, look at all the ancient civilizations that talked about these things. Gilgamesh, I didn't have his photo in here. Let me upload his photo real quick. Gilgamesh was 12 to 14 foot tall. Um, where did I put his photo? Huh. Can't find the one I'm looking for. What happened to it? Did it not? I've recently found out that some of my pictures on my computer have mysteriously disappeared. Actually, I was just before I came in, I was trying to find a picture that I had from my first time, and no, that didn't just happen. I literally went to click on Stone Giants and it disappeared. What? Oh, you kidding me, dude? How the hell does that happen? Holy crap. All my pictures are gone. I literally went to click on Stone Giants and it's gone. What the hell? Okay. Let me go in a different path then. That's kind of aggravating. Man, I had a lot of stuff in these Stone Giants. I'm going to upload to it too because that's one that Jesus and I talked about. Okay, I'm going to have to use this one here. Um, so while I'm waiting on them to load, I'm going to put this up because I forgot to put it up when I was talking about it. And so let me get to a couple of these comments, get them up there because some people, if they're not on YouTube, won't be able to see the comments. So I like to try to put these up as much as possible. And then we're going to get to your newest one, Scott. Some explorer in the 1920s found elongated skulls and giants in Antarctica. Yeah, and elongated skulls weren't just found in Antarctica. Elongated skulls have been found all over the world. There was that Egyptian pharaoh. Was it a Nemotep? Oh, I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head. Him and his wife had it. In fact, he had features that were just like the Greys. If you actually look and listen to how he was described, even his child was odd. Their child, they had elongated skulls. Yeah, they're found all over the world, Scott. You're absolutely right, bud. So I'm going to have to dig around in my computer to just find out what happened. Every file I had on Stone Giants has just mysteriously disappeared when I clicked on it. I hope I didn't lose it because I had a lot of research in there. So if you look at this, let me drop my banner down real quick. Um, Back in the days of Goliath and Gilgamesh, they were on the average of 12 to 18 foot tall. Gilgamesh himself was known to be around 12 to 14 foot tall, somewhere in that range. Um, so, yeah, yeah, for generations, Scott, you're absolutely right, buddy. Yeah, for generations, you're absolutely right. And people want to question about these beings ever existed. Yes, giants are talked about in the Bible. They're talked about in Nordic mythology. They're talked about in Germanic, Egyptian. They're talked about in uh, I guess brain fart, Anunnaki, um, a whole Persian. They're talked about in every civilization, Asian, Middle Eastern. It don't matter. They're talked about in every single civilization. And if giants never existed, folks, like this is what Jesus and I talked about on the last show. Why the hell are they going to build steps like this that you literally cannot climb up by yourself? They had to build these stairs along the side so that you could get up this thing. They had to dig into this mountain, build these new steps because you could not use these. So you're going to tell me that an ancient civilization, and if you actually read and study human biology and history, at one point in time, I'm 5'6" or 5'9". Sorry, I'm 5'9". I love it because when you go military term, I'm 69 inches tall. Um, that's just me. Um, I was considered a giant to them in that time frame. Uh, so if giants never existed, who built them steps? They couldn't use them. We can't use them now with our heights. I mean, we're 5'9". Whenever I was growing up, was an average. 6 foot and above is an average now. If you actually study uh, fossilized history, we went from way up here to way down here, and now we're starting to come back up again. Now there is theories out there that we were genetically altered to. Oh, William, you're awesome, dude. Let me pop up another screen here. Thank you. I aggravates the tar out of me that uh, my stuff just vanished like a fart in the wind. Give me a second, guys. I apologize. William sent me a photo that I was looking for that was in my Stone Giants, and I want to upload this so you guys can take a look at it. Man, I'm going to have to sit there and redo all my dang research again because I just lost everything. That's going to aggravate the holy living bejesus out of me. Okay, let me get back here in the stream yard. Close that back down so it doesn't make a noise. Oh my god, I thought I exited out of StreamYard for a second. Let me see if I can get this load up, if I can find it now. I may have to alter it like I did last time, but we will see. Um, if you guys haven't had a chance, oh, thank God, it's right there. If you guys haven't had a chance, if you can get on William Nighthawk's show this morning, and you can get on my Campfire Lives that I had last night, two phenomenal shows. Even William and I's show yesterday morning, very good. You're 5'5", no, or 5'5", no shoes. but my brother and son are 6 foot. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's becoming very, very common nowadays, Scott. It really is very, very common. And so, like I was talking about that theory that we're starting to that we were genetically altered to downsize our height. We were, I mean, for back at one time, 36 foot for us was not very uncommon. Genetically, we were altered to bring our height all the way down to make us, as some will claim, more subjective. I guess is a good word to use. More subjective, so we can be controlled easier. And now we're starting to see where our height is coming back. So I mean, yes, I mean that's why I can't knock that out of the realm of possibility. It's very true. So here's the Gilgamesh one that that William was kind enough to send me. So I mean, you're looking at here. I mean, I'm not. I'm American. I can't tell you the conversion of centimeters to feet, but if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking this 185 centimeters, probably close to 5 foot, or close to what we are now, which is the average of 5'6", between 5'6", 5'9". But put Gilgamesh at around 12 to 14 foot. Gilgamesh was so big that a lion, a fully grown male lion, was like a kitty cat in his arms, folks. I mean, it's all in our history. Um, oh, Liam sent me some more stuff. Um, oh yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, William, I forgot all about that. Oh my gosh, let me load this up, guys. Oh, perfect, William, dude, you are the man. Uh, I forgot they found the tomb of Gilgamesh. I seriously forgot all about them finding the tomb of Gilgamesh. Dude, yes. Let me load this down for you guys because this is going to be something you guys want to see. So let me save these photos he just sent me and try not to mess this up this time. Save that one. And save this one. Dude, that's going to aggravate me. I so hope that thing just got misplaced somewhere. I really hope it did. Oh, you talking about Gilgamesh, Scott? Uh, Gilgamesh's remains, mummified remains, under the river. The U.S. military took it because that sounds familiar. So I'm thinking that's what you're talking about. I could be. Yes, that's what I thought. Thank you. I knew that sounded familiar, but I didn't want to say it was without being accurate. So thank you for verifying that with me, buddy. I appreciate that. Let me find them here real quick, and I can get these up there. Dude, William, you are a lifesaver in my time of oh crap. Where did you go? Where did you go? Ah, there you are. Put that one and that one. Save them. So as I'm waiting for these to upload, so I can show you. Oh, perfect. They went quick this time. Here is the mummified remains of Gilgamesh that they found. There he is, folks, right there in the flesh. That is Gilgamesh. They don't want to tell you about this stuff, but right there he is. You ever guys ever get a chance to listen to Gilgamesh's tale? Very, very, very good read. Very good read. Very time consuming, but a very good read. So here's a good scale of giants in our past and us. You can see down here in the bottom, human. and you can see the scale of the giants. Trying to think how I could say this without being too dirty on YouTube. We don't even come up to their nether regions. I mean, that tells you right there. So, judging by this giant here is at a minimum, let's say 15 foot minimum. One, two, yeah, I'd say at the very least 15 foot. So, this is all in your history, guys. And that's why I always tell you keep your mind open and um, get out there and do your research. And you're going to find this stuff. If you study ancient history and not academic ancient history, study true ancient history, you will find this stuff out there. You'll find the stories because, folks, you're not going to learn anything about our true history anymore when it comes to academic history. We are purposely dummified to not know our true history, our true self, our true belonging, our true nothing. And this is one of the, I'm glad you sent this in here, William. This was actually one of the photos I had in there that was lost that I'm hoping I could find again. Um, I'll get that loaded up here in a second. Um, just waiting on it to download. And this is why, I tell you this stuff. This is why William tells you. This is why a lot of us out there try to tell you. Now, is there a lot of fake people trying to get clout? Yes, there's a lot of fake people out there that's going to use this stuff to gain their clout. Um, but use your common sense when it comes to that stuff. If you stop and think about it, and like I tell you, like William tells you all the time, like a lot of these others tell you all the time, question everything. Don't take what someone says to granted. Take it with a grain of salt. Do your research. Come up with your own theory, your own hypothesis, your own opinion. I can never stress that enough. Here's another image right here of one of the giants. You gonna tell me nature carved that? And this is one that William just sent me. You gonna tell me that nature carved this right here? It's not going to happen, folks. Has any of you guys caught the show with Jesus and I out of curiosity? Because I want to show you something here. Let me download it. I didn't think about this. We were sitting there talking about this, and it's just dawned on me. This is a reporting of U.S. only of giant remains found. Now, some of you may ask, does this coincide with cryptid discoveries? Does this coincide with the missing 411s? Does this coincide with cave systems? And I'm going to tell you now, if you watch the giant show with Jesus Payon and me, it does. And I show it on there. This is a latest giant remains found in the U.S. You'll find these in here. I wonder if I still have the one where I had them side by side, or not side by side, where I was flipping back and forth between them. I may have. Let me look in here, and I'll. This is what I did. That's Dogman sightings. That's dragons that I found from Google Earth. Yes, there it is. Let me upload this too. So you're looking here. If you actually look at your missing 411 maps, you look at your cryptid sightings, which would be the ones I'm getting. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of them being found at the bottom of the Atlantic and other parts of the ocean too, Scott. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely 100% right. So this is cryptids sightings, and look how much they line up. There's cryptid sightings of North America. You look at that for a second, and then you look here. They're almost identical. And I got to get an image of the cave systems, but you line this up with the cave systems too, and they match, folks. They do match. I'm not going to lie. Yes, yes, you're 100% right, Scott. The Smithsonian, along with other entities, i.e., NASA, the federal government, all them hide our true history from us. You know, and this will get off the giant thing for a minute. Alien alone, there, if you look through history, the same as you do with giants, and the same as you do with a lot of other stuff that we told that never existed, but you can find them in ancient text. Aliens are there too. They really are. I'm going to be getting with William one day because I want to do a show on mermaids. Um, but that'll probably be a future show that I'll do. I'm going to do more on the other uh, triangles across the world as well. There's 6 triangles that is like the, or 12 triangles that is like the Bermuda Triangle. There's 6 above the northern part of the, or there's 6 north of the equator, 6 below the equator. They are all perfectly aligned. And if you listen to the ancient stories, they tell you that it's used to teleport from one part of the country to the next. I'll be doing shows about some of them other ones later on because a lot of this stuff will tie into that as well. You know, William had showed a image of a portal up in the sky that was so large. Could giants have used them to transport at one time? Oh yeah, yeah. You're, and yeah, Scott. And the reason why I want to do that because uh, there is so much ancient history on mermaids alone. You have pictograms on the side of cave walls with mermaids in them. So this is something I like to say, and this is used a lot around the world in many different things. Behind every folklore, behind every myth, behind every legend, there's at least a kernel of truth to it. I mean, if, take for instance, and they didn't put a whole lot of publication on this. They found Hercules' grave. The demigod himself, Hercules, they found his grave. You heard, and this is what they're famous about doing. They'll put a little bit of information about something out there and never talk about it again. So if they ever get called up or called out for not having releasing this information, yeah, we did. We right here, we released it this date. You may have like a day or two of it. Once it wears off, they never say anything again. So therefore, you can't come back and say they never released saying that this stuff did not exist. They're always going to release what exists, but if they don't want you to know it, they do not push it. They only push what they want you to know. If they want you to know something, they push it over and over and over and over and over. If they want you to believe something, they push it over and over and over and over. If they don't, they won't. I like the things that they won't because usually the things that they will not push are the things that are real. The things that they want to push may not be real. So I always find I like stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be getting with William on that. I know he has talked about doing a show on mermaids too. I've got to get refamiliarized on that though. But so back to these stone giants. But you can go. I mean, giants are just as well as stone giants too. Okay, you can find, like I showed on that map, giant remains all over the world. I don't know how, I can't even remember the amount of hundreds of giant remains just in Missouri alone that was found by a farmer, by a novice explorer, or just a Joe Blow walking around. They report it. As soon as they report it, an entity that starts with an S comes in, backed by with an entity that starts with an F, and they mysteriously disappear. Okay, so take for instance on this mermaid thing. I remember in the early '80s, one of my girlfriends went to visit her grandparents, and I was in like second grade. Went to visit her grandparents in Florida. They went to a museum in Florida and they had petrified remains of a mermaid. She came back home with that postcard and was talking about it and showing it to me. If you try to look anything up on that now, it was never there. It has been erased. And that has happened just in my time alone of stuff that was just mysteriously erased. Look what happens every time you find mammoth remains and good mammoth remains. And a certain entity with an S that was backed by a certain entity that started with an F come in, took over your dig site, hauled out train carts upon train cart loads of mammoth remains, and somehow there was no paperwork of it. The land never, no owner never got paid for it, and stuff like that. And it's stuff that contradicts their time frame of when something existed. Just like they tell you all the time, humans and dinosaurs never coexisted together, but you can find petrified creek beds that has humans and footprints walking side by side with each other. You can go to South America to the pyramids down there, and they got carvings of dinosaurs and humans, separately and working together. Humans riding dinosaurs on there. If what's yes, dinosaur is a modern term. It came out what the 1960s or whatever it is. I can't remember. Somewhere around there, 1860s, 1960s. I think it might have been 1860s. It came out with the term dinosaur. But if they didn't know what that was, and they were supposed to be extinct millions of years before humans walked this earth, how did they know what they looked like? How would you have them petrified footprints? I ask you that, folks. So you need to read them. When they tell you that the asteroid killed the dinosaurs, I have always said this, and I will always say this because this is my belief, this is my opinion, my theory. Bull hockey. That did it kill a large number of them? Yeah, I'll give you that. It killed a large number of them and humans. But when you have giraffe, sharks, alligators, crocs, whales, and all different kinds of stuff still living to this day, all right, there you go. And this is going to lead up to what I was about to say here in a minute, Scott. People saw dinosaurs in Nebraska on native land in the 70s. You're absolutely right. And that is tying in with what I was about ready to get to next. Have you ever studied the thunderbird, the Native American thunderbird, which has many reportings in Texas and New Mexico of them seeing this creature? If you actually look at what a thunderbird is, it's a freaking pterodactyl. And they're getting reports to this day of people driving down the road being attacked by this thunderbird, this pterodactyl. And they describe it, what they describe is a pterodactyl. If dinosaurs were extinct from the comet or the asteroid or whatever it is, then how is it we're getting reports of a river monster in the Congo that looks like it was a cephalopod. I think it was a cephalopod or a plesiosaurus, something like that. To this day, attacking fishermen in their boats on the rivers in Congo. How you getting reports of Thunderbird that the description looks like a pterodactyl attacking vehicles today? Alligators, sharks, turtles, crocodiles, giraffes, elephants, horses. The list goes on. So if that asteroid killed um, killed all these dinosaurs off, why do we still have these things here that's still walking around? Yes, 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 William. I don't remember a whole lot about that one, but I remember somebody, it might have been you talking about that. Don't forget the Snallygaster of the Appalachian Trail. Another good example, prehistoric, still alive, from the prehistoric era. You have your sturgeon, you have your spoonbill or paddlefish, however you want to call them. They're still alive. So, so think about that, folks. I mean, and I remember this growing up. Even whenever I was in academic school, they taught you that the asteroid killed them off. Okay, the asteroid may have killed part of them off. The asteroid uh, may have been responsible for some of these deaths. Um, but a lot of this, if you read in history, when it comes to giants and titans, it was floods uh, or the gods themselves. You know, I mean Zeus. Let me get this picture here. Um, Actually, I want to load up three pictures real quick. Oops, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, I just figured that up. Ah, here you are. As these are loading, I'm going to get these up. Um, get caught up on my comments here. Jason McLean has seen a Pterodactyl in Texas. Yeah, 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 Scott. I mean, exactly. It's like that is a lot of stuff that's happening now. Um, he would. I need to get. I want to get more people on here. William, you can trust your government and all the other agencies to just ask an Indian. They won't lie to you. Yeah, exactly. Heck yeah, brother. Heck yeah. So this is the Mayan dragon, Kukulkan, I believe is the name of it. You can see the remains. Can anybody guess where these remains are? I'll give you a second to guess where these remains are. You can see the head, you can see the body, the feet, the tail, the scales, the feathers, the beard. And I've got closer images of this. This is just using for a short example. He, if you guessed South America, you are wrong. He is spotted in the. Oh, no. Oh, shit. I hit the wrong one. This was a different dragon. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong one. I am my bad. I'll upload them in a minute. Um, this is Typhon that's killed by Zeus. Typhon reaches on the northern part of Africa. And you can actually follow, and I've got more pictures of them. Where did I? Ah, Kukulkan. That's, man, I can't believe I missed that one, hit the wrong pictures. while I'm loading them up. And he was killed by Zeus. And if you actually see, you see his head here, part of his beard, part one of his legs right here. He stretches across the northern part of Africa. These other two are loading real quick. So Kukulkan, I can't say it because I'm not Spanish. There he is. You can see his some of his fluids coming out of his mouth when he was decaying. You can see his beard, his head, how it comes around. There's his wings there up in there. If you would have thought South America, you'd be wrong, folks. He's right here in the U.S. He hits Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Nashville, Kentucky, um, West Virginia, Washington, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama. They're This is stuff, and I pulled this off of Google Earth. You can actually find all these on Google Earth. So it's right there for you guys to do your research alone. There are a lot of preadactyl sightings. A book I got, Nighthawk, has a picture of one captured during the Civil War. No kidding, Tracy. I am very intrigued on that one. I'd never heard of them capturing one in the Civil War. I knew about Vietnam, how the American soldiers had a firefight with the rock apes. I did not know they caught one of those during the Civil War. I need to look that up. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Tracy. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I would absolutely love to see that too, Scott. You're 100% right. That would be cool. But this, I mean, there it goes again. There's proof right there what Tracy just said of our history being lied to us, and there's evidence of it. But you guys have to get out and do your research. You have to get your boots on the ground. You have to get your nose to the books. You have to close your mind off to what you was taught and open your mind up to a possibility. Do I believe in cryptids? Do I believe in paranormal? Do I believe in supernatural, the mythological, the folklore, the bizarre, aliens, whatever you want to go? Yes, I do. Am I a 100% believer? No, I am 99%. I always leave 1% to question, could this be wrong? So when I do investigations, I'm always got a little bit of hesitancy there because I want to put in there that possibility that this could be wrong, But when I'm looking at stuff like, if I'm looking at stuff like this right here, I cannot doubt what that is. I mean, you heard Roger himself. You can see the blood. You can see the muscle. You can see everything on this. So if this is not real, why do you have the muscle? Why do you have the blood runoff? Why do you have stuff like this right here? Ladies and gentlemen, nature does not carve that or this. You show me in nature where they have this kind of detail on something, or like the other photos I showed you, I challenge you, show that to me. Nature can do amazing things, but nature cannot carve out detail like that. That is too much detail to be carved out. If stuff did not exist, why do you find stuff like this? Like I showed you earlier, that matches up to actual meat. That is flesh, right? That's beef. I could not actually find a picture of human flesh. I was trying. I'm not going to lie to you. I was trying. The men were surrounding it, holding up its wing. Gosh, Tracy, I want to see that so bad. Oh, I want to see that so bad. Oh man, that would be killer to find that. I don't know if I can actually find that. Let me move this side. Let me open up another screen just for research here. I don't know. It may take a while to dig up to find it. I think I probably just did. As soon as I get this set up where I can show you guys on here, I'll put it up there. Tracy, let me know if this is it or not. I've got to go in, uh, download this, and then I've got to change it to the correct format so that way I can show it. Um, Pretty sure I'll give it a shot just in case, but I'm pretty sure I have to reformat it to show it on here. I'll check real quick before I get too far into it. Nope. Hey, I got lucky and I don't have to reformat this one. Is this the picture you're talking about, Tracy? Because I remember seeing this picture here now that I've seen it. That looks very familiar. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the picture you was talking about. I do remember seeing this one now. When I seen it, that kind of triggered a memory on me. Yeah. I mean, what was Civil War? Just a little over 100 years ago, maybe 200. See, 1865. So yeah, not quite 200 years ago, and they got this. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you, Tracy. As soon as I seen that picture, I went, I remember that now. Yeah, yeah, and you're right. That is an awesome picture, Scott. It's really awesome. Um, so I mean, there you go, folks. I mean, another bit of history we told that didn't would never, told us something that was gone. Another incident. Look how many of these they called extinct aquatic life that they've said has been extinct for millions of years. And they go to these foreign countries like, we eat these things every day. They're a delicacy. They're very good. And they go out, catch them, and bringing them in. And here's a scientist with his mouth open going, uh, we were wrong. Science is proven wrong every day because science ain't true science no more, folks. Science is now whoever the highest bidder is that wants their theory to be known, or certain entities that start with an S, certain entities that start with an F, doesn't want people to know. They pay and if you can look this up, and if you think I'm BSing you on this, a non credible scientist in that field, his theory is what gets put out there as truth. And the actual expert in that field that argues against that theory, his evidence is blacklisted. Look what happened to Roger with mud fossils. He discovered mud fossils and he was blacklighted for his trying to produce his discoveries. And yes, Scott, science is extremely political. So I mean, and this is where we have to come in together, folks. You can't depend on them no more for scientific truth. We have to be the ones to do the scientific truth. People that do stuff like what I'm doing here to get information out has to be the ones to do it. Otherwise, it will not be done. It will not get out there. That's why I do these shows, is because I want to help people to learn new things. And then you take what I learn and do your own research, do your own discoveries, and build upon what I taught you. I am human. Can I be wrong about some things? Absolutely, I can. And if I am ever proven wrong, I'll be the first to tell you I was wrong. My bad. I'm human, folks, and I'm not the brightest brick in the pile. I mean, I don't have all this knowledge. I have certain things that it makes it hard to learn. So I've got to do a lot of different stuff to learn things. So, and I can get it wrong. What may sound true to me may not be true, or what I believe is true may not be true for somebody else. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm not nobody's cup of tea. And that's why I do this stuff. I do it for you guys. I don't do it for me. I don't get paid to do this. I, I don't. I'm not making no money. I'm losing money by doing this, but I still like it because it's educational. It's fun. And that's, I think, and this is not true for everybody out there does these shows, folks. There's a lot of us that do it for the same reasons I do. There's also a lot out there that do it for reasons that is, what's a polite way of putting it? I'm trying to be polite on the show here, not be my normal grunt self here. That do it for what does this generation call it? Clout. They do it for clout. They do it for money. Am I going to sit here and say I wouldn't like to get paid to do what I do? Yeah, I'd like to, but it's not going to. If I don't, it's not going to stop me from doing it. I'm still going to do these shows. I'm still going to help educate people. I'm still going to be on there with William. I'm still going to be on there with anybody else that wants me on the show to talk with them. Yeah. Another person I'd like to get on the show is Tex from Texas Front Porch. But love to get him on this show. Um, if you guys get a chance, DA and I did a show about Wendigo. Love it. Love that show. That was fun. And I tell DA, I tell Jesus, and I tell even William, anytime you guys went on my show, I'll put you on here. You guys their knowledge is far more than what my little hillbilly butt knowledge is. So, but this is fun stuff, guys. Um, I don't know what else really to go on this, um, especially considering that my folder has mysteriously vanished like a fart in the wind. Um, so I'm trying to think. Just a heads up. Now, there's a couple things that's going to be coming here in the near future. Um, DA and I are here soon. We're going to be doing a paranormal investigation at my friend of mine's owned a bar in Everton, Missouri called the Shade Beaver. And I can tell you just from my personal experience of the place, there's a lot of paranormal activity there. So we are going to be going there and doing a paranormal research. I do not know if it's going to be one night or 2 nights. Haven't hit him up too much lately, considering what he's dealing with right now. We need to keep him in our prayers along with William and Jesus. We need to keep them guys in our prayers. They're each dealing with something. It's not my place to go into detail on it. I've not been given permission to, so therefore I will not go into it. Um, but they can use prayer. They can use, they need y'all's love. I mean, they're giving them guys are going through some stuff right now. I mean, and yes, I know everybody else is, but let's show them we show them guys our love. I mean, we are an awesome community here. Um, I couldn't ask for a better group of people. I'm not a big guy. Oh, before I forget, now that I thought about that, to my new subscribers to this channel, thank you very much for subscribing. For all the people out there you can watch, you chose to come on here and watch me, hillbilly talk about some stuff. That's awesome. But I like to have fun on the show. Um, if you guys ever get a chance, follow William Nighthawk. His YouTube channel's down here at the bottom at William Nighthawk 6630. He has got a ton of information that you guys would find very interesting. Anybody that comes on later on that has questions about anything I talked about, drop me a message. I'd love to talk with you. If I can't find the answer, I'll try to find the answer. If you guys get a chance to follow DA Roberts at DAX Machina on YouTube, another person with a ton of information. You get a chance, follow Jesus Payon. It's sad he wasn't able to join today. It's very understandable. When he told me, I was like, not a problem. Handle your business. It's no big deal. That's why I changed it up today. Follow him as well. He is definitely worth a follow. He is very knowledgeable too. If you guys would not mind, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Let's get my information out there. Let's get Williams. Let's get DA's. Let's get Jesus's. Anybody's info we get out there. I have dropped 2 short videos. One's called Corey's Encounters, and the other ones was Juno's Visitor. Juno has emailed me earlier. He's had some other stuff, so I may be doing another video on that. I'm working with Penny to get her encounters so I can get some of that. So I should be dropping some more short videos on this channel. And if there's anything you guys want me to do research on, anything that you want me to do a show about, drop me a message. Let me know. I would love to. Depending on what's going on with Jesus or not will depend on what next week's show about. If he's up to it, we'll pick up with what the original was, and that's part 2 of the Giants. If not, I'm kicking around either doing mermaids or picking another Bermuda Triangle type area and doing it on there. If you guys get a chance, watch my Bermuda Triangle show I did. One of them that's very interesting was the Zimbabwe Triangle. Not Zimbabwe Triangle. What was that called? Oh, man, what was that called? There's so many of them around the world, and I just forgot the name of that one. And, of course, you're going to be a butt, not open up. Let me do what I want you to. I don't want to give you wrong information here. There we go. Bermuda Triangle. Let me pop that up and look at it here. I'm reading over this real quick to try to find what I'm looking for. There we go. Great Zimbabwe. I'm debating on doing one of those. For those you don't know, the Great Zimbabwe one is where a civilization, a whole civilization, just mysteriously up and vanished. They just disappeared. So I'll have that up there later. If you guys are interested, catch my campfire chats with Eric and guest. If you have encounters that you want to come on and talk about on that show, which is Saturday nights at 5:00, let me know. We can either share it through chat. If you want to come on and do a video with me and going over your encounters, more than welcome to do it. If you have encounters you want me to do videos on, email me at this address here, or email address right here. I will do a show on it. If you want to be anonymous, I'll keep you anonymous. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do my closing. This is the ending quote that I wrote. I like to do that at the end of this show. There comes a time when a warrior falls. They leave this realm and will be missed by all. Raise a glass and keep them in your heart. They have kept this realm safe and performed their part. Look to your veterans, your active duty, your EMTs, and your blue line. What they have done, or what they do or have done, was walk that fine line. When a demon comes calling on your soul, they will be there to save us all. Hold them in your prayers, for they are deserving. They all have served or are serving. Everybody, I want to wish you peace and love. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you got a, thank you, Tracy. If you guys got a show that you want me to do, drop me a message. So I love you guys. Thank you so much.